Time is 18:45. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance, all about silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take your seats. Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to see everybody. We do not have quorum. I'll take roll real quick. I'm here, Larry's here, Chad's not here. Gary's here, at least in person. Judy's not here, Pedro's not here, Nicole's not here, Ed's not here, Chris is here. Catherine is here. Alex is not. Bill's not. Okay.
Just quickly, somebody does still need to take a minute.
Yes. Anybody wish to volunteer to take minutes?
Uh,
I need someone, since Chad's not here, he's a secretary, I need someone to take minutes. There won't be much.
And without quorum, usually just attendance and
Yeah, it's just basically attendance and
Yeah.
it's just
follow
basically
discussion.
attendance and whatever the heck we talking about. No public comments, no one's present.
I have the one item, I don't know if you want to include or. Public comments. I was contacted by Fishing with America's Finest. We did the event 2 years ago. The next year is the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam, end of the Vietnam War era. And it wants to do another event similar to that.
Okay,
But this year, he's not been able to raise any funds. Last year, he got money through Alex Reason.
all right,
That's the state. And so now I invited him to come tonight. But they're out, in Virginia trying to get some money.
okay,
But if not, they're trying to reach out to us. And I said, well, remember, the town, for the town to put money in it. Well, we'll see.
yeah, we have
That's
other
not as easy.
priorities, yeah.
That's it.
What's the date are they shooting for?
He doesn't have a date yet, because it's gotta find out for some money.
Yeah, because I would say this year's, it ain't gonna happen.
No.
Next
No,
year,
it'll be next year.
next year.
I'm sorry, who was the contact you?
Fishing with America's Finest.
It's a
Neil
group that
Stark.
That's a group that,
They're doing a documentary, and I decided I got an interview for that. It was,
Oh, yeah?
a company can buy it, it's supposed to be going to be sold to a Netflix. But it's gonna be a full-length motion picture documentary, and they're doing segments from different veterans, they interview about certain things. And, anyway, I was interviewed, they're at my house with a camera crew for like 5 hours on Sunday.
were you?
Yeah, out of all that, they'll probably use the last.
Oh, what do they ask you about? That's interesting.
A lot of different things. For example, in my case, there's one thing that occurred when I was there. I got a medal, I was there, I got a commendation medal or whatever it was. Whenever I got a medal, they always put your picture on the paper.
Uh-huh,
Well, I had a thing, a picture on the paper.
the local paper, yeah.
You know, I had a picture in my paper, they put my picture right next to the obituaries. Everybody looked at it, you know, they got the same thing.
Oh, so they think you're dead.
That's why I'm like, oh, yeah, he's still alive. We're dead.
Hear about that?
At least he won a medal before he died.
Yeah.
And then they see you walking around, they're like, you look alive. Whoa, wow,
And
that's
then,
a fantastic zombie story.
Yeah, that's the website. If
and then, and then they
anniversary
asked me about
commemoration, something like that.
when we came home and landed, it was just Tacoma Air Force Base before we went to Fort Lewis.
Yeah,
And, after we landed, it was, I don't like to tell a story, but you know, it was pretty sad. We're like an old, Boeing 707, you know, ones that have the things that brought down the back. And what they did when we landed, and we were so happy to get home. I was there a year and a half. We're so happy to get home. It was just amazing. I mean, just the build up, you finally land, you made it, you know, you're home after all that time. And when you're 19 years old, a year and a half's a long time.
yeah,
And so you finally get there, and I was sitting in the back of the plane, but they wouldn't let us off the plane right away. We had to wait for them to unload the back, and they were rolling off the metal caskets. They wouldn't caskets.
yeah.
The guys that died, so we had to wait for them to go. And that was kind of a heartfelt moment. And then after that, they opened the gates and let us all out, and everybody's down kissing the ground, screaming, yelling, so happy to be home. And then you walk into a big hangar, there's a big hangar there, maybe 100 yards away. And you're expecting something, you're so happy to be something, and it was like nothing. It was processing, get in line over here, and your bus will be out there, your own bus seat, it was like, it was terrible.
Just like when you got in.
Oh, it's unbelievable, you're expecting, and then it gets worse. So you finally get on a bus after these incompetent people play around with you for what seems like forever, because you're so anxious to go home.
Right.
And they finally put you on a bus, and you get on this bus, right? And we no sooner pull out on a highway and a convertible Mustang pulls out, people giving you the finger, baby killers, like that. It's unbelievable. Somebody threw something at the bus. It was just horrible. The whole thing was just bad. And then you finally get to Fort Lewis, and before they wanted to clean us up, like we had long hair, a lot of us were kind of shaggy, so they wanted to clean you up before they sent you home, right? So you had to stay there for all the stuff to get a uniform and get a check, they're gonna give you, so you have some money, some people got mustering out pay or vacation pay, whatever you had, leave pay. And then you're so ashamed, you just feel like this is terrible, you didn't want to wear your uniform.
Right.
And the feeling you had, it was just horrible. Like you talked one time about the guys getting their combat ribbon badges. We didn't get combat ribbon, we got nothing. Even if you weren't in combat, you still got bombed and mortar and everything else. But we didn't get anything, we got treated on shit on top of that. And then after that, when you try to get back into civilian life, and that comes around, if people ask you what you were doing, what's your previous experience? Oh, I was a combat intelligence analyst in Vietnam. Oh, I'm sorry, we ran the others.
Yeah.
That's right. I couldn't even get a job when I was working in a factory.
No, they don't purpose.
Yeah, everybody went, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is what they've done. They went around, this movie is, it's about, different veterans, their experiences, how it all went about. In my case, I was from a family we were a middle-class family. My parents were breaking up. I was in college. There wasn't money for me to stay. I was failing every Sunday. My parents were constantly arguing. To me, it seemed like a good thing. Go in the military, I used to have a paycheck. I won't be a burden to the family. And of course, Vietnam was big time at that time. And I
Right.
was about to lose my 2S deferment. At that time, they remember the lottery? They had the lottery going on. Well, this was just before the lottery. I went in before they had the lottery.
Right.
So, they had the, anyway, I don't want to talk about it. It's not-
All right. Well, thanks for sharing what you
All
said.
right.
But you landed in McCord?
Pardon?
You landed in McCord in Seattle? At McCord Air Force Base?
No, that was,
Well, let's get back to the agenda, John. We can talk about this after. Okay, no public comments are closed, order of business, deferral, additions, deletions. None, we cannot deal with the minutes, so we have to defer. Number 6, old business, we approved the checks for the family scholarships. Do we have a date when we're gonna present it to the folks who have won them?
are we gonna do this in the council meeting?
Yes,
Yeah,
it'll be a pre-council kind of thing,
I'm thinking it could be the August meeting.
okay?
Um,
When's the August meeting?
I want to say the 13th. The only issue is, I don't know what the kids, or the recipients, I'll say, not kids. Schedules will look like, really it's more the ceremonial effort anyways. But if we're talking about, what's closest, it would be the August meeting.
But what's practical? Could it be the September meeting? I mean, you have to figure out whether or not you can get all the families at that one meeting,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, I've been communicating with them because we've had some holdups with, the checks. So putting when can you come to a council meeting feeler wouldn't be that big of an issue.
Okay, so let's do that.
And actually on that, that little hiccup that I mentioned, the committee had agreed to cover the buses for one of the bands or the marching band from, I think, Hialeah Gardens.
Hmm.
And so they hadn't sent us the invoice until, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so $900, which comes out to, between 7 recipients, about 114. I don't know what the math is, but I've let them know. We still haven't gotten the corrected invoice from that company, so it hasn't officially been paid out. But we cut the checks assuming they're gonna send it any day now.
Okay,
because, I mean, I'd rather.
So we're looking at, so what was the original amount? We had like 2135, so now it's like 1900.
No, 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 it was like 23,
It's a weird number.
yeah, it was a weird number, a hair under 24, now it's 22
Okay,
and change.
per person.
Or, right?
Yeah, it's just, you know.
All right, so yeah, why don't we do that? Let's get this thing done. And I have the large check, the presentation thing. And I'll just put veterans families, this is a bunch of them.
And I'll speak with Joseph, so we can coordinate the presentations.
Alright.
I'm gonna cut checks for each person as can work.
Okay,
There'll be a check, the town writes a check for each person out.
so I'll get a check in the mail, we got the.
Was that in the,
No, that's,
We can't present it there?
we just mail the checks. It's. Then
It'd
we
be nice
really
to
need
present-
to show up.
Could we present it there?
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, it seems
I
like,
think it would
that,
be-
that way they show up. Otherwise, they don't show up. So let's present it there, otherwise they don't show up. If they don't show up,
Yeah.
then we'll, of course, mail it to them with a nasty little
I'm
note.
gonna pick out that time.
You're welcome.
You're
Yeah.
ungrateful.
By the way,
If your paper's not on Miami Lakers, your picture's not in there, it's your fault. All right, so looking at August 6th, August 13th.
What time?
Presentations are at 5:30. I'll go with Joseph on that.
Okay. Basically on the QR code markers for Veterans Park, I just gotta get with Jeremy on this guy's thing.
that's such a great idea. That's, I think it's a super idea.
I have some great ideas.
Okay.
We should have one for Gary up or the QR code for Gary up by where the.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
That's what we're
it's-
doing.
Yeah, it's gonna,
That's what we've been talking about.
yeah, the council,
Fair enough.
He was having it.
You know this.
I knew we were gonna put your name up there. I didn't. know QR code.
yeah, council is very receptive to
No,
it.
like-
But not even just for veterans,
It's for everybody.
caution, but you know, the River Alonso Community Center.
Yes, exactly. So,
The old, maybe like old historic landmarks, like this is the conversation that led to, so it was a very,
yeah, no, they were really, I saw them all taking notes when I mentioned it.
yeah,
Some of them read it beforehand and go, why haven't we thought about this earlier?
now it's just logistics of
Well,
executing it.
really, what gave me the idea is when you did the brochure, the pamphlet, the brochure for the Congressional Medal of Honor stuff on Memorial Day.
People like to say anything.
And I was like, you know,
Take out your phone and.
we can do this as a historical thing, where every tree, every building has a QR code, so it's named after somebody. Press it, you can learn why it's named after that person. Okay, so that's in the works. I'd like to thank, the Veterans Committee, we did a great job on the 4th of July. We helped out the host, 144, feeding a bunch of people, getting barbecues from the Knights of Columbus, and then feeding a bunch of orphans and getting, the town, especially Jonathan Isle, they got me 5 tables and 40 chairs to deal with orphans from his house. So they could sit down and have a place to eat.
How'd that work out for you? I wasn't there.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
They loved it. And a lot of them are Central American unaccompanied minors from Central America. And then another group was Haitians from the Haitian Civil War, when their parents were killed. So it was pretty rough. But they had a fantastic time.
Did they stay for the fireworks and all that?
Yeah, they did. They got fed, they stayed for the fireworks, they enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, I didn't really, I was running around the park taking photos, so I didn't really get much to follow up on that.
They were quite older, actually. They were probably 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
somewhere
then
in there.
13. They were,
That's when they really need a parent.
yeah, they
I've
were,
been there.
so,
If there's,
We were able to.
if there's interest in doing that again next year. At the very start of the planning, let's keep it,
okay.
in that chain of.
Yeah, that way I don't drop it on you too damn late.
No,
But it was nice.
it worked out, it always worked out.
And no, it worked out. It was great. We had the meeting and I'm like, unless you people don't like orphans. With comments of,
My council was like.
why would you say that in the public record? Like telling council,
It was,
unless you don't like orphans.
it was a good one.
It was great. It was great. All right. moving right along, new business, basically, everything needs a vote, so. Except for the 9/11 thing, but that still needs a vote as well, because we're gonna change the location and change some of the stuff.
Well, my little thing of clarity from Isle, who is she's the chair for public, or not the chair, excuse me, liaison for public safety. She's the one who sits in during the parade and during your discussions. She already brought this, and I think you were there.
Yes,
Public
I've been there
safety.
3
They've already sort of accepted it.
Oh,
The collaboration point, so I actually don't even think there's much to vote on that,
So this is the new location that they
poorly
want to do it at?
colored. Yeah, in front of town hall, and
Fantastic.
you can see the fire engine with the flag and the card, it's very simple.
Are they gonna, and I guess the question becomes is what were we doing and what are they doing? Are they gonna be the MC?
So. Right. This is what I wrote down from my house, so I didn't give it to you guys. They meet on Tuesday. They agreed on the layout. They have funds. That's something that we don't have. They're getting quotes specifically on the coffee or any sort of before and or after, things to offer the
To
police
provide
officers.
breakfast for the officers and.
But no solid, they're not solid on spending yet because they're talking about that on the Tuesday meeting. That's in the agenda. So I don't know.
Do they need us for anything?
I mean,
Well, I'll attend the
So,
Tuesday meeting.
yeah,
This
please
coming
do.
Tuesday,
yeah, please do.
I'll attend the Tuesday meeting and see if they have any specified tasks.
I'm thinking, I guess request because they do have funding and it's not ours to vote on, even if we could.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really what I'd like to be able to do is give because a lot of police officers and firefighters show up for this. I'd like to give them breakfast.
So breakfast and I think paying for a nice wreath.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the presentation aspect that I sort of have mentioned before, where ideally it could be the major, the fire chief, placing the wreath during the ceremony, getting a nice wreath. I'd imagine it. I don't know the prices of wreath, but I know it's not very expensive. Yeah. So,
But I would like,
so I think that sort of thing, but aside from that, it's a fairly
Yeah, it's
quiet,
pretty quiet
calm,
event.
respectful
yeah,
event that it can be really,
It's a memorial event, and that's like the memorial.
it'll be really great.
Yeah, we'll see if they take our lead and do it by reading biographies of officers
Yeah,
and
things like that.
firefighters that lost their lives, so. If they can personalize it that way, that would be good. All right, that sounds good. Okay, seeing that there's nothing else we can really discuss because it requires a vote. I make the motion.
Oh, I did wanna, sorry, I apologize. Specifically on the scholarship, I guess moving forward, I wanted to put some notes out there that we can, I guess, discuss later on. Just things that popped up upstairs that we kind of wanted clarity on moving forward.
Well, you see, it's in a reindeer thing, it's an agenda item.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm proposing allocations already,
right, but
for next year's.
no, this isn't me suggesting money organizations. This is just things that the committee should think about. If you get it 1 year, are they disqualified for the next? I think that was already discussed.
Yes,
and I
that
think
was,
that's an
that
affirmative.
was.
Maybe if there's gonna be clarification on one per student versus per household. Because we had 3 from one family this year, which, we had 7 total, which sounds great, but it was 5 households. Which is still fine,
I think it was per student, that's the thing, I mean, you could have a family that a person has 3 or 4 kids and they're all, and in that situation.
It is, you can imagine the.
And I would think they actually need it more than anybody else.
No, I agree.
If they have multiple kids in college or in trade school and stuff like that, they're probably in more of a need than anybody.
I agree. I hope you guys can sympathize with the heartburn that was felt when they saw the same address 3 times. They were fine with it because I explained that,
Yeah,
and the council oversaw it.
yeah, no, I mean, it was,
we have the
it was
class-
interesting.
We had to cast a wide net to recruit.
And that was my
people.
last one, thinking about, any qualifications, if there's any way. It was brought up, and again, we'll discuss it and vote on it at another time, maybe spouses of veterans that want to go back to school, this.
That wouldn't be bad if they're.
No,
old spouses of veterans,
because they're,
like the
again-
entire household, not just children.
I don't know.
no, the spouses already received, GI
I
Bills.
don't know this.
You could transfer, you could transfer it, yeah.
That's
You
just
can
me.
transfer it to your children too. But then that means you don't get to.
We could just say clarify eligibility criteria.
Yeah,
it's
but
eligibility
I feel like
The three, I would say, yeah, we'll probably expand it to include spouses.
the net was cast pretty wide, and I don't know how sustainable it could be moving forward if, you know, so few people qualify.
We are almost down to the point where it's like, has anyone at least seen Full Metal Jackets? Like, that was our next. Like,
If anybody has rose- anybody saw it and has PTSD, think well.
You have to record it. And you have to prove it by recording.
That's
So
right.
Yes.
so that's just,
My founding drill instructor, yell you for that movie.
Oh my god.
those are just some,
Yeah,
That's-
yeah,
I
no,
can
those
see
are good
that.
points. All right,
Do we wanna see about rescheduling a meeting for next week?
this meeting?
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad, we need to get moving on the reindeer run, and we need to get moving on Veterans Day, and just about everything else, what do you guys think?
I'm flying home tomorrow for a week for vacation,
Who's home?
home being Ohio.
Oh,
Wow.
Be here, but
JD Lance.
I mean, or we just
Yeah.
wait till
Yeah.
August is almost right around the corner anyway,
It is.
so, do we usually do it,
August 1st.
August first?
That's it.
Yeah, let's just wait till August first, it's right around the corner.
other weeks.
Yeah.
And then we can crack down on those. Things that we need to hammer.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
All right, motion to adjourn, and we can't vote on